How's it going, guys? Medium difficulty question, hematology for step 1 internal medicine 2CK. Before we start, subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate it. If you like, really appreciate it. Find me on Instagram threads, Mehlmanmedical, Mehlman_medical, links down below for me Telegram. Links to the Telegram group and channel down below. Now start the clip. 82-year-old woman. She's found confused at home. Vitals are blood pressure 115/75, heart rate 80, respiratory rate 16, temperature 106 Fahrenheit, creatinine 1.5 milligrams per deciliter, should be 0.7, 1.2. Blood smear is shown. And we have acanthocytes, aka spur cells, which are spiky RBCs. Question wants to know which of the following most likely explanation for the patient's findings. So let's just look at the answer choice here. Choice A, alcoholism, wrong fucking answer. Not a notable cause of acanthocytes. Alcoholism can cause macrocytic anemia. All right, it's a non-megaloblastic anemia. When you hear of megaloblastic versus non-megaloblastic, don't worry, okay? It basically just means megaloblastic anemia. You're going to have high MCV and hypersegmented neutrophils, where that's B9 or B12 deficiencies. Non-megaloblastic anemia, that can be alcoholism, all right? So it's an important detail you can know for USMLE. It shows up. You'll get a question where they tell you MCV is high and the folate and B12 are normal, and you just have to know alcoholism is an important cause of that, okay? Alcoholism can also cause sideroblastic anemia, which is another answer choice. Point is, wrong fucking answer. Choice B, liver failure. Correct answer. Okay, so liver failure, very important cause of acanthocytes on USMLE. I'd say 3 out of 5 questions, it's going to be related to heat stroke, which is what this patient has. All right, so let's say old granny found in her house, high body temperature, so hyperthermia 104 or greater, and has end organ damage causing high creatinine, can cause high ALT, AST, can cause acanthocytes. Liver failure, I'd say it's 3 out of 5 questions will be heat stroke, where you get acanthocytes, okay? And 1 out of 5, hepatitis B or C, okay? They'll give you a question, big fucking paragraph, and they'll tell you there's red urine. That's membranoproliferative glomerulonephritis. So that's going to be red urine. It's one with hep C or malignancy. But they'll also throw acanthocytes in there, and you're like, oh shit, because as I just fucking said, liver insufficiency, liver failure can cause acanthocytosis. So it could be hep B, hep C. And then 1 out of 5 will be A beta lipoproteinemia. So, and that's an absorptive problem with lipids in the small bowel, and you can get large clear cells of the enterocytes, and that's resources tend to have the yieldness flipped. If you read about acanthocytes in different USMLE resources, not my PDFs or my YouTube MCQs, because I actually know what I'm doing, but if you look at some other resources, they'll say A beta lipoproteinemia as like the notable point. It's not, it's low yield. Okay, it's liver failure that you have to know for acanthocytes. So let's just flip to the other answer choice here. So sideroblastic anemia, wrong fucking answer. So this can be X-linked recessive deficiency of delta ALA synthase, first step of heme synthesis. So succinyl CoA plus glycine via vitamin B6, which is pyridoxine, and delta ALA synthase goes to delta ALA. So X-linked recessive condition. But also, as I mentioned briefly with choice A, it can be caused by alcoholism. Now, all you need to know, cutting to the fucking chase, okay? Sideroblastic anemia, they're going to show you these blue dots. You're going to see a blood smear, and they're going to show you lots of blue dots inside of a cell, and you're like, well, no idea what I'm fucking looking at, but I know it's a buzzy smear for sideroblastic anemia. So Prussian blue stain. So sideroblasts are a precursor to RBC that are still nucleated, and it's an inability to incorporate iron into heme. So the iron accumulates as a ring around the nucleus, and they're simply called ringed sideroblasts, Prussian blue. Okay, it's a buzzy smear. You can be aware of alcohol can cause it. Wrong fucking answer. Choice D, subacute combined degeneration, wrong fucking answer. This is the name of the neurologic condition that you get with B12 deficiency. So you just get a condition, let's say anything, pernicious anemia. All right, it could be dietary, such as veganism or strict vegetarianism. So if a patient has B12 deficiency and goes on to get neuropathy in any form, that's called subacute combined degeneration. That's just the name for it. I've seen that on one of the neuro forms for 2CK where it's actually a correct answer. And students get it wrong. They're like, OMG, I didn't know it was called that. It's not a big deal. You just need to know that that's what it refers to. There's a lot of nonsense detail we could talk about. I mean, it's a pass-fail step 1 now. You could be aware that the spinal thalamic tracts are not involved. So if you know the spinal thalamic tracts are not involved, you say, well, what other high-yield tracts do I know of? I know of the dorsal columns, those are involved. I know of the corticospinal tracts, those are involved. And then the spinal cerebellar tracts are involved. Okay, those are the three main tracts. And you could be aware that it's the neuropathy is due to a buildup of methylmalonic acid, okay, methylmalonyl-CoA, which you do need to know is increased in B12 deficiency. Wrong fucking answer. Choice C, uremia, wrong fucking answer. So uremia can notably cause platelet dysfunction. All right, when we talk about hematology stuff, it's called uremic platelet dysfunction or acquired platelet dysfunction is how they can write the answer. Very easy. I've made clips on this stuff. They'll just give you any patient with renal failure. They'll say BUN is high, and then they'll tell you the patient has epistaxis. Okay, so bleeding time elevated, but platelet count normal. Holy shit. So it's a qualitative, not a quantitative problem with platelets. So despite the normal platelet count, bleeding time is elevated. You get bleeding in the setting of uremia. It's just the urea nitrogen. Okay, so blood urea nitrogen can cause a qualitative dysfunction of platelets, and you're simply going to do hemodialysis to treat it. Wrong fucking answer. You know the deal. I'm just to make more content. If you like my stuff, subscribe my channel. Appreciate your time. That's it.